Right. Testing. 1, 2. Welcome to Dorsey's Resource. We're now going live. The topic of this video is going to be a brief update about GCR, Ripple, XRP, Dinar connection, question mark plus Q&A. Plan to give a brief update based on the time restraints that we have. I'm going to attempt to answer a few questions I've been getting lately. Have been meaning to come before you guys, just to give you a heads up. If you watch the two previous videos on this channel, describes what's been going on. I also did a video on my backup channel. In case you're not subscribed, you can check the description box of my previous videos. I should already have the links posted to subscribe to my backup channel, and also my other social media platforms, video web hosting platforms, where to be able to find me in case anything happens over here on this main channel. Because there has been behind the scenes, there's been a concerted effort to try to bring my channel down. Just to give you guys a heads up, my main channel over here. So it would behoove you, if you are aware, you do have the video, the software, the wherewithal, the know-how to download the videos for your own reference. I know some people have mentioned to me they use for study reference, etc. It will behoove you to go ahead and do that now, while you have the opportunity, because in case something happens, once again, there behind the scenes, there's a concerted effort to try to take this main channel down. I won't go into all the details, but I've warned you guys in the past. So if you check the links of my previous videos before I'm able to transfer everything in the description box of this current video, check my previous videos, where to find me on social media, my other video web hosting platforms. Some I've already recommended, like Rumble. I am on Rumble. I am on Minds.com. Minds.com. I'm going to put in the what do you call the chat section, Rumble, Minds.com. I'm on Rumble, and I have to work on. I'm also on Brighteon. However, I don't have a profile uploaded on Brighteon as of yet. I am on Parler. Despite the news, Parler is still a pretty big platform, by the way, despite them trying to poo-poo it because of, you guys know, the controversy and the news that's neither really here nor there. By the way, I'm trying to think. Recently Elon Musk purchased Twitter. You can find me at Dorsey's Resource. I've always mentioned that. Where Facebook, I don't really go as in depth as I do sometimes on my Facebook. I have, and what I want to use those main platforms for is to redirect my traffic over to these other independent web hosting platforms that I recommend. By the way, so just keep that in mind. If you can find Dorsey's Resource, if something happens down the road, Brighteon is a backup. So just to give you guys a heads up, I do have a login. I just have to upload, my pictures, username, but it's another alternative to be able to find me. By the way, because there's been in more recent times behind the scenes. I'm going to go down the road. I'm going to go into more detail to be able to elaborate, but some of it has to do with the thing that's coming up. I won't even say the name because, of course, YouTube is they've ramped up the censorship in violation of freedom of speech. By the way, they are in violation. By the way, this is highly egregious criminal misconduct, very egregious. I've encouraged people that have deep pockets, high rollers, big ballers out there to sue YouTube, file a lawsuit against their parent company, Alphabet. Young Pharaoh was working on this. Many others have attempted but failed. They're a big tech bully that feels because they have a war chest of money, they're a big super conglomerate corporation. They feel they can do what they want to do, and that's just not right. And I am glad that Elon purchased Twitter to what they're not telling you. Some of the same things that's happening now actually went on before Elon purchased it, with that goofy controversy with the basketball player LeBron James being offended by the N-word. It's just because some of the WS members feel emboldened by Elon purchasing in that platform. He's doing things for humanity behind the scenes. If I have time, I'm going to go into details about that. But cryptocurrencies have something to do behind the scenes, which is related to the topic of this video, which is a lot of people don't know. Some of the guys that I follow that know how to read the charts, the stock market, said Elon wanted to make Twitter more innovative because there was a lot of the top people dealing with cryptos behind the scenes, by the way, that I followed on YouTube, people that have made big money, just saying that saw Twitter, they saw a way of making it more innovative. I don't remember all of the details, but this is one of the main reasons. Don't buy into the hoax that he's a white supremacist, this, that, and the other. That N-word with LeBron is whining about. He's a big spoiled brat, makes all those millions of dollars. Pretty much is going to be a billionaire probably by the time his career is finished, by the way. And, so just don't feed into that. I'm telling you the real reason why Elon bought Twitter behind the scenes. It's some things going on in the banking system. Is getting ready. They're in the process now. Some people are already aware. I've got word a while ago. There's people that have signed non-disclosure agreements, secrecy agreements. They're working on it behind the scenes. By the way, my source didn't tell me this, but I knew this already from listening to other intel providers out there, top intel providers. I don't refer to as gurus, that were giving information about the global currency reset, the Iraqi dinar. And once again, the topic of this video was dealing with brief update about GCR. That stands for global currency reset. There's a difference between the great reset. That's what the cabal wants to bring in. The globalists, aka ruling class elite, a criminal syndicate, and operation behind the scenes, also known as the Illuminati. The ruling class elite, the Bavarian Illuminati that operates today under the disguise of the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg organization, the Davos group out of Davos, Switzerland, which invites CEOs from major corporations worldwide, all type of industries, from agriculture to the medical industry to manufacturing, to big internet tech giants, etc., to have secrecy meetings on how they want to control the world. This is very real, and I've got more information recently from reports what they're planning to do. So it will behoove you to also go to ban.video. I'm going to put in the chat section, ban.video, to get the accurate updates. Support the independent media, by the way. Please support the independent media. They're going to be more honest with you overall. I'm not saying that they're perfect, but I've been following ban.video for a number of years, and prior what they were, and they put out some of the best information. Many whistleblowers, highly educated people to present accurate information about what's been going on with the you-know-what that came out a couple years ago, that gives you accurate information on a wide range of topics. By the way, don't believe the BS that you hear in the news. Many people, I don't claim to be a legal expert, but that $1 billion case where they actually are calling for $1 trillion, it's unheard of. And there's actually limits set far below that in major states on what people can collect in settlements, defamation suits, and things of that sort. And they're trying to make an example out of that individual. Please support him. He is a target by the ruling class elite. These people are real. They're evil. They're very wicked, diabolical. Thankfully, thousands of more people and millions of people around the world have woken up to who they are. They can be defeated. They are not invincible. I promise you, they are not invincible, but it still is going to take a collective effort to maintain humanity, by the way, to warn, wake up other people, to continue to fight, stay informed, so these evil ones are not able to go along with their diabolical agenda. And yes, they are planning nuclear war. They're trying to implement that behind the scenes. By the way, that is a scapegoat that they have. But the individual, at ban.video, if you articulately, diligently take the time and listen, he articulates himself very well. If you're patient, whenever he's not ranting, And I tell a friend of mine, he puts out so much content, I can only catch so much of it, but I do get a lot of information because I'm good at absorbing information. And I relay the information over to a friend, for example, is very important. He's put out important updates on what the globalists are planning, the AK ruling class elite, by the way, to describe the evil ones. And they're planning and they're already doing things on other parts of the world. He mentions the evidence. If you, in case you're wondering, he shows the articles you can look up. I just recently downloaded a PDF where he linked to Tim Pool Twitter account. That Tim Pool had a document from an investigative journalist out of San Francisco. By the way, I was able to download that PDF file. So in case you guys are wondering, the mainstream media will try to say that he's a conspiracy theorist, this, that, and other. Don't believe that. I promise you, I'm giving you information to research, and the type of research that I do to show the accuracy behind the information. I've also purchased his products, and I continue to purchase his products, and they have helped me out. I'm actually, because I got sick not too long ago, I let you guys know back in September, towards the end of September, I had food poisoning, and a good friend of mine recommended someone that he knows that's into holistic health, naturopathic health, and I was able to meet with her, and we plan on meeting. We're meeting again in the near future. By the way, I won't go into the details about all the details, but it was phenomenal. I was the second time around. I was absolutely impressed with the learning about muscle testing and things of that sort, and how your body needs the right type of minerals and things of that sort to perform at optimal capacity. And I even learned something recently from doing my own research, but I would only share that if I start a Patreon account or a VIP section. I've shared it with only maybe one person, one of my close confidants. I found something that, that some people out there are already taking that can do some amazing things to your health in terms of the fountain of youth or reversing the aging process. By the way, for my own research, but I'm not going to go into the details about that. Some things are neither here nor there, too heavy, too powerful. Like I said, if I had a Patreon, or I would only share that, that would be an exclusive video. That's the type of knowledge that I have, and that would be part of my intellectual property on how people would be able to support me and the work that I do. By the way, those are the type of things that I share with people that are close confidants with me, because I was looking for something to feel younger again. There's different supplements out there, but I found something that's based on accurate scientific research. And I found out I actually already have a product that complements this other product very well. It's different, that deals with, I would say dealing with the fountain of youth or turning the hands back of time, by the way. But to get, without further ado, because I did say this is a brief update about the GCR. Ripple XRP is tied in with the Dinar. I was informed that I was hearing someone ask me about the 800 numbers because they had heard recently on another channel. You guys know I don't really talk about the Dinar too much anymore. I did have a lot of videos in the past. The ruling class, the banking elite, have changed things around. They changed a long time ago. And there's another elite faction that's been brought to my attention in more recent times. By the way, there's a difference between the global currency reset and the great reset. And I'm not sure if I'm going to get to all my notes today. I do have some notes prepared, but like I say, to reiterate, I wasn't able to present this to you guys. I do apologize. One of my private sources came through back in August, and then gave me another update last month. I won't go into two separate times. So there was two previous updates, but based on the schedule I have currently with my job, just job stands for just over broke, which I should have been out of, I feel, a long time ago. Had I done the right things, made some of the right moves, but I can't fault myself for not knowing some of the things, the obstacles and roadblocks that these evil ones have put in place that are trying to and have attempted to sabotage myself and others from obtaining and accessing wealth. And you guys, many of you all know that private event that I referred to in the past that I attended, I referred to also as a private clandestine operation, by the way, that I do have supporting documentation that can back that up. And I've sent that, and I've gone over that information with people that know me behind the scenes personally, just so you know, FYI. And I plan on down the road, you know, going, you know, attempting to find out what actually happened with my material that I was promised back, and many others. I'm still wondering, because we were given an ironclad guarantee that it was a fail-proof mechanism, that if that this one thing didn't come through, the other thing would happen. And I know some people thought that that was a scam, but I did learn a lot of things. But I have a private source, and I do know it's not, it wasn't a scam, but it's something that goes really high up, I would say, and I'll just leave it at that. But I call it, referred to as a private clandestine operation at one time, and I have I have footage, and I know who Unk is, by the way. Some of you are familiar with Midwest channel or the other channel. I've been able to identify, I know for a fact who Unk is. I have an idea where all this information is trickling from the top down. But I am happy that there's people that are waking up, because we do need people that are going to be awake to the truth, because we're going to need, it's going to be a collective effort, because there's some other things that are going on that these evil ones are trying to do, that are trying to destroy humanity. And this could even hinder humanity from becoming a type 1, a type 2 civilization. For those of y'all who are aware of science, what is a type 1 and a type 2 civilization? You can do your own research on that. But if these evil ones are not stopped at what the destruction that they're doing and the mayhem that they are on, that can hinder as humanity moving forward, that can hinder us from becoming a type 1, a type 2 civilization, by the way. So just keep that in mind. But update, I've been being informed a while ago, you're not going to get paid the way that you think. The banking system is changing over. You're going to get paid, what I'm hearing, instead of dinars, it's going to be in a form of digital currency. They're going to be moving away from calling it cryptocurrency. Once the regulations come down, they're already in the process of referring to it as, digital assets. By the way, they're going to be moving away from the term cryptocurrencies, and they're going to be referring to these funds as digital assets. So this is from different conference calls, but one of my sources told me there was a conference call that he was informed of. I have no idea what that particular call is, but I informed him of another call that I still that's still out there, that I still stay abreast every now and then. I'm not always able, I forget sometimes, but I do recall not too long ago they did cover this information and said, you're not going to get paid like you think. It's not going to be in the same way. It's going to be in the form of digital asset. By the way, the banking system, they're in the process behind the scenes. They're moving over to blockchain technology. And it was mentioned some years ago, over about a decade ago. One of my sources informed me that brother did a seminar in the DC area. And he said, I guess in the seminar, that they were changing the whole banking system around. And this new system, this ISO system, is supposed to replace the SWIFT system. I was informed the SWIFT system is going to be phased out eventually. There's even a conference call I have somewhere. I can't remember offhand. I have to look at one of my many backup hard drives and try to search for it. But I did find it again. It was called Thing 1 and Thing 2. And they went over some years ago information. Oki the oil man, if you guys remember him, I don't even know if he's still alive. I remember last I heard he was sick. He was someone that did conference calls, or was one of the gurus that was known amongst the Iraqi Dinar community out there that would do different conference calls. And he was on this call that was called Thing 1 and Thing 2, which I believe that was the name, instead of some people from the private sector, the elite private sector behind the scenes, came out and shared information about that, and how down the road, how this global currency reset was in the making, and how it would be rolled out, and how the treasury would become the new majority shareholder. Because there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes, just because you guys don't see. And if you're wondering Many of you had heard about the IRS was supposed to be going away. There's like a restructuring that was supposed to have taken place already. There's also like I believe potentially a sting operation that some of the evil ones don't want to do what they were told to do, but they're going to be made to down the road based on some of the things they're going to have the rug pulled from under them because there's certain things that they're not going to be able to continue to wreak havoc and mayhem and use their underlings. So they're just trying to drag out more time, but it's the evil ones, the cabal. This is why they've been holding things up. They have been doing a lot of dirty things, and their spokespeople, a lot of them are operatives for the Democratic Party, many of their gatekeepers. I was telling a friend, just like a movie, many people think that Obama and Hillary, they think that they're the good guys, and they think Trump is the bad guy. But you know how you've seen those movies, sometimes the bad person tries to portray themselves as a good person, and then you find out overall, not saying that none of these people are perfect that I'm mentioning, but the bad character protagonist in the movie turns out to be the good guy, the one that comes and saves you. So don't think at the end of the day that Obama and Hillary are the good guys. They're not on the winning team. They're not the good guys. They're sinister, just like the guy that's over Ukraine in that situation, and Biden as well. They're not the good guys. They pretend to be. They seem like it because there's this mystique that the Democratic Party is supposed to do for the poor, etc. But the ruling class elite, Klaus Schwab, look up the globalist Klaus Schwab with the World Economic Forum. Look up Yuval Noah Harari. Look up Yuval Noah Harari. Look up the connection to Bill Gates, William Gates, who became wealthy from his father, based off his father was wealthy off from Planned Parenthood, by the way. It's not no rags to riches story with Bill Gates. But I don't believe that that's a made up story. They want the general public to believe, and they dictate their children. They have them go into the professions to carry out some of the evil deeds that they do. They train them. They're taught by their parents and sent to private schools by invitation only, by the way. So don't keep that in mind. It's not a coincidence. But these people that you think are the good guys that are doing good are not good for humanity. These are evil ones, and their track record speaks for it. You have to do a lot of research, and they use their foundations and things for evil works. Remember, evil works are done in the cover of darkness. That's what this investigative journalist that would cover the Bilderberg years ago that died. Forgot his name. What's his name? I know his last name was Tucker. I believe. I forgot if it was Jim Tucker. I can't remember this investigative journalist. He passed away some years ago. But he mentioned when he would cover the Bilderberg meeting secretly, he would mention how evil works are done in the cover of darkness. Because the Bilderberg, the Davos group, it's important you guys look up who they are. This ties in with this stuff. You need to be informed. You need to wake up your children, your relatives, because there is a concerted effort to try to control the flow of information, to brainwash people. They have underlinks and minions in many different professions of society. But with that, they don't know the other side. The good guys also have people as well, and to expose their criminal activities and wrongdoings, part of this criminal global syndicate. By the way, that's a criminal operation that is operating in the cover of darkness, that pretending to be light workers, and they're not light workers. They're not good for humanity. They're evil. Trust me when I say this. But you're gonna have to do your own research. You need to look at the documentaries. Look up Endgame. Look up the documentary Endgame by Alex Jones. Look up Obama Deception. You need to watch Money Masters. You need to look up that documentary. You need to look up Monopoly Men. You need to look up Ring of Power, Empire of the City, Ring of Power, Empire of the City. Many of these documentaries you can still watch for free on YouTube, even if though that YouTube has dragged them down in the algorithm search engine, you can still find them. Just do a manual Google search. You may be able to find them on other platforms like BitChute. BitChute is another platform. I mentioned Rumble earlier. I'm gonna mention it again. Brighteon.com. That's Mike with Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, by the way. But go look up those platforms, BitChute, Rumble, Brighteon.com, to stay informed. Some of those documentaries. You can also re-upload There's documentaries up there like the Kanye West video. If you're wondering why it keeps getting taken down on YouTube, because YouTube works, it's part of the cabal, the evil ones. I kind of went over that earlier. So you can also, if you have a big following, if you're an influencer or you are a content creator, such as myself, and you have a big following, you can use these platforms to share with your traffic, to transition your traffic so that these evil platforms that are controlled by the cabal can't have total control. Some of these other platforms have privacy settings too. If you're wondering about privacy and things like that, you don't have to show your real name or part of your name like what I'm doing. You don't have to do that. You don't have to show a picture if you're in terms of privacy, but you can still do content. There's software out there, like software I'm using, where you can only use your voice, but you can also upload like that video that was taken down, that Drink Champs interview Kanye West did. You can find that on some of these other platforms, by the way. And just keep fighting back like people are fighting back on YouTube. I commend those people that just keep re-uploading them even after they get a so-called copyright strike, because there's thousands of people. They can't shut up thousands of voices. That forces, because YouTube is breaking the law anyway. They're violating freedom of speech. Freedom of speech was explicitly clear. And you guys don't understand. I've gone over this in the past. They had to register as a public utility. Many of these tech companies, such as Facebook, that's now called Meta, they had to change the name to Meta because they were sued. So if you guys have deep pockets, don't be afraid to go after these people, sue them. If you have, if you're a high roller, you have deep pockets, a war chest of funds, definitely go at it, because they need to be counteracted. So these people like George Soros and his son, Alexander Soros, are not able to pretend to be pretend philanthropists. And they use their, I don't know why he's not being investigated for money laundering. The IRS needs to investigate George Soros and his son, Alexander Soros, for money laundering. He's not a philanthropist. These people work for evil. They're evil doers, by the way. But these documentaries that I went over will explain these things and will give you accurate information. So make sure you check out the independent media, go to these alternative websites and get the real facts, the real true information that your local mainstream media or your local mainstream news outlets will not cover or go into. I like some of the stories they do, but you want to cross-reference that information with the independent media, by the way. So we have one person that joined in the chat. I see Lynn Hopper says, hey, Mr. Dorsey, thank you for joining, Lynn. Appreciate you. Tom Kimmett says, that's right. Appreciate you all joining. This is Q&A time. So if you guys want to jump in before I get ready to shut things down, don't hesitate. You have any questions or answers right now, this is the best time to go at it. By the way, don't hesitate. Jump right in. As I'm going, just jump in. So I'm just, this is final roll call before I shut this video down, but I wanted to give you guys an update. The banking system is changing over to blockchain. And the topic of this video, I did intend, it's a little bit over, not really, maybe a brief update about the GCR Ripple XRP Dinar connection. I was informed you're going to get paid in digital assets. And that's not going to happen until they're ready. Darian Gill says, are we close to the RV? Question mark. Yes, it does appear that we're close based on the information that my private source, one of my elite sources, gave me. I have a whole plethora of notes. Some things I may have to go into at another time. He says, what do you think the Dinar and Dong will be RV? I don't have any idea what they're going to revalue at. But however, I was informed that you're going to they're going to be, oh, there's another thing. They're going to be pegged, by the way. This is some advanced information. I may go over this again. They're going to be pegged to think some of these currencies. No, I mean, you know what? Forgive me. I'm thinking of the cryptocurrencies. Some of the cryptocurrencies are going to be pegged to precious metals. But I thought the Dinar and the Dong, there may be a connection with those as well. By the way, I don't know what they're going to be specifically, what the rates are going to be, but I assume they're going to be really good, because I heard the longer that we keep waiting, the more that the evil ones keep delaying this, the higher the rates are going to be because of how they've delayed it for so long. But I've also heard they've set a cap because so many people were buying so much. So they've capped the amount that you're going to allegedly say if you're holding a certain amount, several million or whatever, and based on what the exchange rate is at the time, they're going to cap the amount at a certain amount, and there's going to be other things I hear allegedly. I don't know for sure, but this is what I've heard from some of the intel providers. Yeah, like the Zim, for example. You're welcome, Darren. The Zim, for example, is going to be high. I've heard that is one particular currency separately that there's going to be a cap because there were so many people that were purchasing Zim. So they've maxed it out at a certain amount. But I even hear of a structured payout. I've heard a while ago that could still be on the table. I don't know if that is still on the table. They no longer refer to as the basket anymore. When they talked about the second basket, because some people were wondering about the Iranian rial. I heard they were going to include you were going to be able to exchange your Iranian rial in the first basket, but they call it an offering now. So they're calling it a first offering. There's going to be a second offering down the road, but that they're going to have rules in place where you're going to have to be a qualified institutional buyer, meaning you're going to have a certain net worth or amount. And by that time, it's going to be difficult because that's when down the road, when more of the control mechanisms come to place, because a lot of the regulations are not fully in place yet. And that's where things are moving over to. Like what's going on with the digital assets. They're going to be moving away from calling cryptos. They're going to be referring to them as digital assets, by the way. And I hear that the XRP case is close to being over. I heard it was really already over. It's just being dragged out. But the RV is supposed to really be close this time. But however, there's should be coming down the road soon from what's coming into place. So any of you guys have any more questions, feel free to jump in. Don't hesitate for those watching. If you have any questions about the global currency reset, the RV, digital assets, that's instead of cryptos, don't hesitate. This is what I'm being told. I have some real powerful information. Well, I'm going to go over some of the information that I had. The cryptocurrencies XRP, XLM, and XDC are going to be made stable coins once the regulations come down the pipe. They're going to be real, true stable coins, not like Terra Luna Classic and others. By the way, Christy Abel says, "What is coming into place?" Okay, if you could be a little bit more specific, Christy. I see your question. Just be a little bit more specific. That's kind of vague. I'm gonna kind of go over. I think I see what you're saying, but if you can be a little bit more specific, that would be helpful. Darren Gill says, "I've heard the Bolivar is the sleeper." Thinking you're referring to a particular foreign currency. I'm not familiar with that foreign currency. If that's what you're referring to, Darren, is it called the Bolivar? I'm not maybe pronouncing it correctly. Lynn Hopper says, do you have to have humanitarian projects for the Zim? I've heard that they were pushing that heavily, but I did hear a long time ago that if you wanted to exchange and you didn't want to have to do humanitarian projects, that you would have that option, but you would not get as much, Lynn, just to answer your question, allegedly. Because until this rolls out, this is speculation, but this was coming from the conference calls that I listened to. So to cover myself, this was put out there publicly already. Those who are in the know, the Tier 4B, the internet group, by the way, the people that stay informed, there was one of the conference calls I did hear mentioned it. However, it appears as though some definitely try to push that if you do have humanitarian projects, you would get more. And there's even a higher level that if I had a Patreon or VIP setup, I would be able to go more in depth about those things. See, Darren says, yes, the Bolivar. Okay, that's a particular foreign currency. I think I may have heard of that before. Thank you, Darren. Christy Abel says, I think you said that something was going on a change whenever something comes into place. Says I came in late. Sorry. Okay. No problem, Christy. I'll try to go over that. Lynn Hopper says thanks. You're welcome, Lynn. So to continue to go over XLM, XRP. That's XLM is Stellar Lumens. XRP is Ripple, and XDC is also known as XFin. They're going to be made stable coins once the regulations come down the pipe. Someone from the IMF allegedly made a statement when it mentions the average person thinks means it's going to be pegged to the US dollar. However, they're actually not going to be pegged to the US dollar. The reason the crypto market has been down for so long means that behind the scenes, everything is getting ready to be reset. It's why they have been holding the market down. And I hear November 21st and 22nd, and I was told this as far back as August, maybe even June, by the way, but definitely August for sure. I was informed that November 21st and November 22nd is when the ISO ledger is supposed to be going live. The Great Reset is actually called the Quantum Financial System, QFS, and we have documentation to back that up. There was a document we found out that was out there. Charlie Ward, thanks some of you guys, by the way, that put me up on Charlie Ward, mentioned about there was a document from the Comptroller of Currency. By the way, I shared it with a friend of mine. He made a copy of it, one of my private sources, and I was explaining to him how I kept up, by the way, that if you know what to look for, there were others who were talking about this information. Says, can you throw out a good wealth management CEO or no? Sorry at this time, Lynn, maybe not. Maybe in the next video down the road, if I do a follow-up video, maybe we can go more in depth if I'm able to use my Zoom software and do a follow-up video, because I have two separate notes that are related. It's a lot of information that my source went over. I don't have the time to go over everything in this particular video, but this is what I was informed of so far, that November 21st and 22nd is when the ISO is supposed to be going live. The Great Reset, once again, is called the Quantum Financial System, and this is going to replace the legacy system, and it's going to use blockchain technology. This is what's actually happening. This is what I have for sure. It's going to replace the legacy system, and it's going to use blockchain technology. The difference is the evil cabal is trying to call it a global currency reset to control it to fit their agenda. However, the good cabal is turning it into a quantum financial system, which will have a level of privacy versus the other system. Both systems will use blockchain technology. However, the QFS is going to have a level of privacy. Klaus Schwab system, he's with the evil ones. He's very wicked. He's with the Davos group and the World Economic Forum. He's also part of the Bilderberg. He was connected to David Rockefeller. He's also connected to another evil man who's his advisor, Yuval Noah Harari, that quotes that we don't need humans anymore. They want to implement transhumanism. This is their own quotes. This is not me making this up. I'm just quoting what they said. This is from the horse's mouth, not my words. But Klaus Schwab system, he wants to have cash pegged to it for a while. However, the evil cabal's ultimate goal is to make their system cashless. So when they use their blockchain, they want to use it to track everything, and that will tie in with what Bo Pony mentions, how their beast system is not in place yet. They want a beast system where that will force you to have an internet ID to have to sign in. By the way, that's not fully in place yet. That's what the evil ones want, by the way. And Lynn says, nope, okay. It's because they want to be able to track everything. All of the fiat currencies right now are not going to revalue until the QFS goes live. So you're not going to see the Dinar revalue, because I was informed you're going to get paid in digital assets. They've changed everything completely around from the past. It's completely upside down. A lot of those old videos that you see me in, even though I left them up, a lot of that, it's not the same information anymore. They revamped the whole system. They've changing things completely around, but they're dealing with the evil cabal, the evil ones, are trying to sabotage things, and they have been dragging this out for a long time, by the way. But the fiat currencies, that's dealing with the Zimbabwe, the Iraqi dinar, the Indonesian rupiah, the Iranian rial, the Korean won. All of those are not going to, you're not going to see those RV until the QFS, from what I'm being told, until the QFS goes live, which is coming up soon. That's going to be connected to the ISO system. The meaning, it appears to be there's going to be a dual system out here too. This means all fiat currencies and commodities are going to be reset to their true value. I'm being told the commodities market that deals with precious metals, by the way. So I'm going to stop right there. I had some more good information just to give you guys a preview. If Currency 365 is listening in, big shout out to the work he's doing. TC, I keep up with updates with the Shiba Inu and some of the wealth transfer things of that sort. It will behoove you to download this video, share this video, by the way, because they are trying to do some things behind the scenes. If you read between the lines, to try to sabotage this channel, and even from me down the road, not getting the types of views and stuff that I should have been getting. By the way, even when I use this software, by the way, StreamYard, I'm able to get more views than I'm able to when I use the Zoom software. It seems like StreamYard bypasses or helps bypass some of YouTube's algorithms, by the way. I know it's late as well, so I meant to come before you guys earlier. I would get more views if I came earlier in the day or like in the morning, but my channel has been sabotaged. I thank you guys that had let me know a while ago, that sent me emails to my other email address in the past, by the way. But just be aware, this information is critical. And if Currency 365 is listening out there, it will behoove you to share this video. Some of the information I went over will explain. There's some real powerful information. I have some more info, but I'm going to stop right there because I am on a time restraint. But once again, I'll give you this last tidbit. All of the fiat currencies right now that's dealing with the Iraqi dinar, the Indonesian rupiah, the Vietnamese dong, etc., Korean won, they're not going to revalue until the QFS goes live, which I hear we're real close. That's coming soon. So there's it's tied in with what's going to be taking place with the cryptos, and the banks are moving over to blockchain. By the way, I was informed by TNT's call. The last I heard, I don't know if he still does conference calls. It's been a long time since I've listened to him. But he stated that a lot of bankers had trickled down to branch managers, were under non-disclosure agreements. So this has been ongoing the past several years behind the scenes. But this is where I hear what's been going on behind the scenes, by the way. So get prepared. You're going to need to have cash on hand or standby, have cryptocurrencies, and have precious metals. Be purchasing silver and gold, physical silver. You want to have it in your possessions, physical silver and gold. You also want to have a amount of cash on hand, and you also going to need cryptocurrencies, all three, just in case, one or the other, whichever system goes down. If you're not able to use credit cards one night or EBT cards, it's good to have all of those options available, by the way. So I'll leave you with that. To be continued. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to me at Dorsey's Resource. I am on Twitter. I'm on Facebook at Dorsey's Resource. And remember, the marathon will continue. Real legends never die. They live in our hearts. Rest in peace to all the pioneers, all the great ones. Until next time, peace is everyone. Deuces. I'm out.